Okay, so now we're gonna do her dress. So I chose a pink PC929, and again, I'm gonna lay down my color. So I'm gonna show you, if I lay it down very thin and light-handedly, I wanna show you how far it'll go, because then I might have to add more just to show you. So as little as you put is as much that will melt and get to the other side. It'll look a little bit more washed out, okay? The more you put, the bolder it'll look. So again, I don't know what color was on this, oops. Well, it's okay. So I'm doing little swirls to melt it. And you see it's a bit washed out looking. So I'm gonna add a little bit of a thicker stripe, just for exaggeration purposes, and to show you if I would have started off with that, it would end up a little bit differently. So you see now already it's much bolder, much more vivid. Okay, and so I'm gonna add a little dimension by shading the left-hand side, and I'm gonna use Tuscan Red, which I love. I shade all my pinks and reds with this. It's PC937. And I'll just do a little V here. It's a very potent color, very pigment full, pigment rich. So even like that, it looks kind of cute. So now I'm just gonna dab. I don't want it to blend with the whole thing because I want you to see the shading. And it, again, like I said, it spreads through over the, it's a very dangerous color, but it's gorgeous. It'll go through the lines sometimes. It's not your fault, it's the color. So again, now you see it a little bit more. I'll put a little bit more of my dangerous color. That looks good. So you can test. I put a little corner before, now I put a bigger corner to make the whole image look a little bit more vivid instead of washed out, which I like this much better. So I would recommend putting a big C. Look how good that looks, if I do say so myself. And then I might put like just a little bit here just to accentuate, but I won't even spread it. I'll just do it like that. Okay, so now we are going to do the shading, and we're gonna color outside of the lines. Now, people are scared to color outside of the lines, and I really don't want you to be scared because this is the fun part. So what I usually start with is French gray 20%, it could be 10%, it could be any light gray that you have. And I always hear Paula and Linda screaming at me that my image should not be floating in the middle of the card. So she's floating right now according to them. So let's ground her. So how we ground her? Again, just scribble. Okay, so now she already looks like she's landed somewhere. Okay, so now after I've done that, then I decide where my shading should go. So I always remember when it's under a skirt, under a neck, under an arm, under curls, bangs, sleeves, that's where you know to shade. So I'm gonna do a little bit here under her skirt. Now you're gonna see the red a little bit because I told you it was very contagious, but that's okay. And I don't like to see a halo around my image either, like a perfect helmet. You kind of want to let the color go as far as it wants to go, and then you can pretty it up after. So I'm gonna go here. Oh, and I have something else after we could do quickly. Okay, and then I'm going to do for sure here, even though the sun is here, I know that it'll never, the sun don't shine under this hair. Trust me, I know. And then I'm gonna do under here. So I'm not doing a perfect blob around her. I'm gonna do a little bit here in her curls, just a little bit. And again, just scribble. Okay, and then I'll see if I want to add more after. So I'm going to take another Stumpy Poo. Found something with a similar gray. Don't look at my hands, they're so bad. And then I'm going to wet it And if it drips, just hide it so no one sees it, and then it evaporates very quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna do again. Now instead of pulling it inside within the image, we're pulling it outside the opposite way, out of the image. So I'm dragging it downwards. I'm melting the color and dragging it downwards. I don't care if it's an uneven shape. I don't care, because gravel isn't even, and that's where she is according to me right now. Okay, so this I'm dragging as far as it'll go. I'm gonna do again here. Just want her to have a little bit of a shadow. And again, I do my little circles and I drag it as far as it wants to go. This might have a little yellow in it and I don't care. I like it. And if you feel that it doesn't move anymore, that's when you replenish your mineral spirits. You don't have to do it every 2 seconds, really. It works for a long time. It evaporates slowly on this, on the stump. Okay, so I'm gonna do here, and then I'm gonna assess the situation. We're gonna assess shortly. So I'm gonna assess, and when I look at it, it's all blended, but I see like this really looks vacant. I don't really like that here is very heavy and concentrated and here there's nothing. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more here just to make it a bit more even though I told you I don't wanna see a helmet. I'm trying for it to stop at different areas so it doesn't look like a perfect helmet. Like the bowl cut. Okay, so now a few of the colors have, you know, gone with it, but I don't care because you're gonna see how we're gonna spruce her up now. Okay, so it's blended. Now I'm gonna make it pop by adding my second gray. So then you'll see how three-dimensional she becomes. So I'm gonna do again my little V theory. So here I know that the sun ain't gonna shine, so I do my little dabs, and this is where it makes her pop. And the darker you go with this third color or second color, the more dimension it gives. So you see already that her dress looks like it's lifting. That's how three-dimensional it looks. I'm gonna put a little accent under here. This is sharpened so badly. So there, and then again I'm gonna do my dab. Not the circle, the dab, because you want to keep the color there. So far we see already just in these two spots how it lifted up the whole image. Then we'll do a little bit there. And again, you can use any color to shade. I like to use the gray, but you can use blue, you can use things to match your background paper. You can use, yeah, you can use anything to make your shading. There's no rule. Did I mention that already? No rules? I don't like to follow rules. I'm not a rule, I'm a rule breaker. Okay, sorry. So then you're gonna go home with such a splitting back. Hold on, so I'm gonna do the same thing here. And I'm gonna drag it as far as it goes. This one I didn't really do the dab, so I can always redo the dab here. I'll do just a little V and do a little dab there. And then on the ground, you'll see I'll just do another little scribble, just a little bit to accentuate the puddle she's in, or the little mound she's standing on. So again, just a scribble to apply your color, and then just a dab to get rid of the line, but to maintain a color differential. Oh, that was so fancy. So there, now it looks a little more real. And again, I could just make things pop here in her hair. Just a couple of little poppers. and the dab. And you, like I said before, you can go a little bit darker just to give that real difference, but that's really it. And then I'll just do one more here. So she's pretty much done now. We'll just add glitter. So now for the finishing touches, we have to put glitter on it. So what I use, my favorite tools are the Quickie Glue Pen, which if you haven't used, you must purchase ASAP. It's basically a pen, has a roller ball nib, and it applies, you can apply the glitter anywhere you want. I also use Glamour Dust, which I think is the sparkliest glitter ever, and you don't have to wait for it to dry like other liquid glitters. And I use a static bag. Now the static bag was originally created for embossed images, so you don't have flyaway embossing powder, but I use it for my glitter. So what I do is poof, so it releases a little bit of, you see here, it has talc in it. I don't know if you could see. And this talc treats your paper, it takes out the humidity, the electricity, everything in the paper. You can do this at this point, you can do it right after you stamp it to treat the paper. I always do it right before I apply the glitter. And you don't really have to do this, I just felt good doing this. You don't have to do it for like an hour like I do. Okay, now you take your Quickie Glue Pen and you're gonna apply wherever you want it. So definitely her shoes need to be sparkly. And again, this is not rehearsed, I just want to see that it works. Yeah, so it comes out blue and it dries clear, which is amazing. I'm gonna do a few of her, I'm gonna do a few of her curls. And then maybe I'll do, I don't really want to do her dress a little bit. Maybe she's standing on a diamond mine. And then I just dump. I'm very not careful with where I place it because I want it to mush everywhere. And then I shake it off, and the great thing usually about that talc thing is that you don't get flyaways that I'm presently flying away. So it just sticks to where she has to stick, and it's just so pretty. And everything, in my humble opinion, must be finished off with glitter. And there she is. Now she's going to be put on a card.